Welcome to the question of the month. For years, there's been an issue with retaining good fundraisers, but recently this problem has gotten even more severe. So today, Jeff is answering this question. How can we stop fundraisers from leaving?
Well, here's another question we've been grappling with for years. I mean, we wrote a white paper on this years ago. And now today, post-pandemic, or maybe we're still kind of in it, we're seeing people leave in alarming rates.
The Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation.
Right.
So are we valuing our people? Are we paying them well? So we often hear these great major gift officers, they're having incredible years, breaking records, going past their goals, and yet nothing's been done with them. They're not getting them any raise in pay. They're not giving them any better benefits. So that's one thing. Are we paying people well? And if they're doing well, they should be paid well. Are we thanking people? I mean, I don't know how many major gift officers have come up to us and say, I just don't feel valued. No one's ever thanked me for the work that I'm doing.
Well, like the one situation where this huge gift came in, and I'm not going to mention the number, but it was in the multiple millions of dollars.
Yes.
And there's a big argument as to whether the major gift person actually
Gets credit.
Gets the credit
Right.
when you and I both know that the person actually caused this
Yes.
multiple millions of dollars to come in, and they're arguing about it. I mean, how does that affect that person's
Well,
spirit?
that we know the major gift officer is completely deflated.
Right.
They've worked all these years to bring that donor up.
7 years.
And
7
then
years.
the person makes a planned gift
Mhm.
only because of that relationship.
Right.
And they're not going to get credit for it because someone in planned giving gets it.
Right. Which had not
Totally
hardly anything to do with
deflated.
it, right.
I think the other area is that they need a structure for success. All major gift officers that we've known that are really good all have a structure.
Well, that's true of all of us, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But we don't value it in the nonprofit
Mhm.
world. We think, oh, well, they're just going out and having dinners and lunches with donors, taking them out to ball games, and then, hitting them up for money.
Yeah, let's get the money.
That's the idea.
right.
But
right.
we know that doesn't work. The successful major gift officers will be successful if they have that structure, they have accountability, they have that focus. And
They're talking to the right donors.
That's right.
I mean, just that point alone.
they're
I mean,
yes.
When only 1 out of every 3 donors who meets the metric wants to relate more personally, just that one point alone about structure is success or
It's
failure.
huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And then I kind of alluded to this, but it's accountability.
Yeah.
And you think, well, do people really want that accountability? And the fact is yes, they do. We know from all the thousands of major gift officers and mid-level officers and planned giving officers that we've managed, that accountability is key for their success. And they actually come back to us
Right.
and say, if it wasn't for us meeting every week and having you say, what did you do what you said you were going to do? I wouldn't be as successful as I am today. So that accountability is really
It's
important.
very, very, very critical.
Yeah. So I guess the things other things to ask is, are you giving your major gift officers and mid-level officers other things outside of their scope of work to do? We see this all the time.
Yeah,
right?
it's where the job description is just creeping off into other areas.
Yeah, so they're driving to the airport, taking the CEO, or picking people up.
Right.
They're doing events. They're
Right,
doing
right.
all these things outside of major gift work. And then they start to wonder, like, I'm failing because I'm not actually, I don't have the time to work
Yeah,
with
we
my
ask them to
donors.
do this extra stuff, and then when we punish them because
Yeah.
they're failing at their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another one is we need to remove the barriers, the silos within organizations. So if you're a manager or a leader, if you can remove those silos and get people talking to one another, their jobs are going to be much easier. So for example, if you have a major gift officer who needs to report back to a donor what happened with their gift, if they don't have a good relationship with the program people,
They're not going to get it.
They're not
No.
going to get it.
No.
And that relationship with the donor is going to be stunted. It's not going to grow because they're not going to get that information.
Which means getting the program people to understand where money comes from, which means taking care of donors.
Which then moves to my next one, which is developing a culture of philanthropy within the organization. And that removing those barriers will be part of that work. So if program people, if finance people, the front desk person, if they all understand the role that donors play in that organization,
which is a huge role.
Which is huge,
Yeah.
yes, because it's the engine, the fuel that keeps the mission going.
Right.
If they get that, you'll see much happier people.
Yes.
And then finally, I think it goes back to making sure you have those metrics, those KPIs for your major gift officer to hold them accountable. They need that structure and those KPIs so they know where they're going.
Exactly. I mean, so many employees, you and I know this, don't know how they're going to be measured or evaluated.
Right.
So being clear about it creates so much freedom and safety.
Exactly.
It really does.
That's why having a plan for every donor, having a revenue goal for every donor is actually so much more comforting to the major gift officer and allows them more freedom because they know where they're going.
It's good stuff, Jeff.
So if we have those things, we can keep good people.
Thank you, Jeff. And I hope that this has inspired you to make some changes in how you retain your staff so you keep those great people who are doing important work to support your mission. And if you'd like more on this topic, be sure to download our free white paper on hiring and retaining great major gift officers. Just click on the button below or the link on this post to get your free copy. Thank you and see you next time.